Trista's pavmi paper gown crinkled as I laid down on the bed for an ultrasound. I wouldn't normally go to a human hospital, but what choice did I have? I was exiled. So I'd found a small but cheap hospital one town over from Somerset. Because the hospital was small and cheap, I knew their equipment wouldn't be very accurate. They wouldn't pick up on any of the wolf in me. The doctor was nice. I described my symptoms, and he suggested an ultrasound. He smeared the cold jelly on my stomach. "Ah," he said, smiling. "I thought that might be the case. See here." He pointed at the screen, and I looked over. "That small ball right there. That's your baby. Congratulations. You're pregnant." "Pregnant? What?" He smiled kindly at me. "I assume from the look on your face that you weren't planning this?" I shook my head in disbelief. I'd been trying to conceive for 3 years. To give Liam the heirs he so desperately wanted. How was it possible that I was finally pregnant, now, right after he divorced me? This was some sort of joke. It had to be. Some sort of cruel, twisted joke. Are you sure?" I asked, skeptically eyeing the ultrasound screen. The hospital was cheap. Maybe the equipment was faulty. 100%. You can see the fetus right here. See? I squinted and adjusted my glasses. But all I saw was a dark blob that he recommended me to a women's clinic close by that dealt with pregnancies. I nodded, only half listening to everything he said. I was in a daze. When I got home, I sat with my hands in my head. I was shocked at first, but as the shock wore off, my mood changed. I was going to be a mother. I had a little tiny creature growing inside of me. I flipped open my laptop, more determined than ever to find a good, reliable job. I had a baby to support now. Over the next few weeks, I applied to a number of large financial institutions in the city. I had the credentials and the experience. But as soon as I told them I was pregnant, they showed me the door. No one wanted to hire a pregnant woman. I soon learned. So I decided to try for a job that was a little more female-friendly. Waitressing? A clothing store? A daycare? I was desperate. But that's when I saw an ad for a famous jewelry store JL. It was one of the companies I had invested in when I was Luna. They were looking for designers. That's when I remembered my second degree, my degree in design. I quickly submitted my designs and I heard back from them right away. "We are willing to hire you, Trista," the manager said. "Your designs are really great. But our customers have specific needs and demands. And you lack direct work experience in the jewelry business. So we'd like to offer you a 3-month internship as a personal shopper at one of our stores. This way, you can learn what our customers want from our jewelry." It wasn't exactly my dream job, a personal shopper, but it was something. I accepted the offer. I went in for my first day of work, excited to start my new career as a future jewelry designer in the human world. So just imagine my surprise when Liam waltzed in, with Lucy on his arm. Seriously? They didn't see me at first. Lucy pointed to a decadent necklace dripping with sapphires and diamonds. Liam had never bought me jewelry, not even a single piece. Even though Liam was the second largest shareholder in the company right of this brand. All thanks to me and my smart investing. "Is that the one you want, darling?" He smiled at her and she nodded excitedly. "Then that's the one you shall have." They looked around for someone to help them. And that's when they saw me. Lucy burst out laughing. "Excuse me," she said loudly. "We can have some help here, please." I knew she was going to mock me, but what choice did I have? This was my job. So I smiled as sweetly as I could. I opened the case and handed her the necklace. But then she dropped it on purpose. "Oops," she said. "Guess you better come pick it up." She was so cruel. I walked around the counter and bent down to pick up the necklace. "Is everything okay over here?" It was my manager. "Yes," I smiled, the necklace in my hand. "No," Lucy snapped. "This clerk here, she dropped my necklace. Look at her. She can barely see. Why would you hire such a stupid girl? She's disabled." I didn't," I stammered, but Lucy scoffed. I was humiliated. I'd never been so embarrassed in all my life. And the fact that she was an Omega made it 10 times worse. My cheeks flushed a deep crimson. I looked at Liam. What did he see in this woman? She was snide and condescending. But Liam wouldn't look me in the eyes. His gaze was fixed on his new Luna. We just separated less than a month ago. He seemed to have completely forgotten me as a stranger. Trista, my manager snapped at me, displeased that his customers weren't happy. Go clean the glass casing over there. I'll serve these lovely customers myself. Lucy flashed me a sly smile. But I had something Lucy didn't. She could mock me all she wanted, but I was the one carrying Liam's baby. Maybe if I told him, he'd change his mind. Let me come home. Cast out this horrible woman and let me be Luna again. So I took a deep breath and told him, Liam, I'm pregnant. Trista's POV. Stop your foolish tricks. I haven't even touched you for months. It can't be my baby. Liam spat out, his voice seething. Whose bastard seed is in your fucking womb, Trista? Who were you screwing around with? I gasped, shocked by his words. We've been together for 3 years. He should have known what kind of a person I am. Liam, I never cheated on you. The baby is yours. He must have forgotten the night he came home drunk from the pack social night. We had sex that night. It was about a month ago before we divorced. Lucy looked nervous. She bit her lip. But then he started yelling at me and she relaxed. Are you stupid? He scoffed at me. Do you think I want a blind heir? Blind like you and your useless wolf. It's not mine, he stated. I can't feel my heir. If it was really mine in that disgusting womb of yours, I'd be able to feel it. No, you wouldn't, I said to myself. You already rejected me. Plus, the baby was still so tiny. Only 6 weeks old or so. You wouldn't be able to sense it. Liam, please, I promise you this baby is yours. I tried to reason with him. I don't care either way, he said. It's the pup of a dumb blind bitch. Go find someone else to raise your useless spawn. Lucy giggled then and he wrapped his arm around her. His words stung. This was his child. How could he be so mean to an unborn child? The child was innocent. Did he really hate me that much? So much that he denounced his own child? That he would hate his own flesh and blood? Excuse me, she said, calling over the manager. We have a problem here. He came right over. What can I do for you? Well, we came in today so I could pick out some jewelry. My husband here, Liam, is the majority shareholder of your company. He wanted to buy me something nice. But this, she waved her hand dismissively at me. This little worker here, she's crazy. She thinks she's pregnant with my husband's child. I'm embarrassed for her, really. But she's causing all sorts of problems for us. All we want to do is shop. My jaw fell open. My manager looked from them to me, then back to them. His eyes narrowed. I am so sorry, he said to Lucy and Liam. Trista, you're dismissed. Go gather your things. You're firing me? The words sunk in. But I'm pregnant. You can't fire a pregnant woman. It's against the law. My manager turned to me, nostrils flaring. You have upset some very important people, he said through clenched teeth. You are nothing compared to them. I don't care if it's against the law, you are fired, effective immediately. But no buts. Leave. Now. I hardly think you have the money for a lawyer anyway. His eyes scanned my thrift store clothing. Lucy was decked out in designer clothes from head to toe, complete with a Chanel handbag and Louis Vuitton pumps. I looked ragged and haggard next to her. Stanley, is it? Lucy said, reading his name tag. I assure you, Stanley, that we are most gracious for your excellent service today, and we will remember you. She smiled sweetly at my manager. He smiled back and nodded curtly. My pleasure, he said. I apologize. I didn't hire her. Someone from HR did. Clearly, they didn't know she was riff-raff. The next thing I knew, 2 security men were grabbing me by the elbows. They dragged me right out of the building and tossed me out into the street. Even though I was still wearing my work suit, people side-eyed me and smirked. I was so humiliated I wanted to cry. But I blinked back the tears until I got home. When I was safe inside my apartment, I sobbed. I was obviously completely dead to Liam. He wanted nothing to do with me or his unborn child. I would never be allowed back into the pack, or any pack probably for that matter. So what was the point in staying in Somerset? Other than Hazel, I had no reason to stay near the wolves. The tears streamed down my face as I choked on my sobs. I felt so powerless. So helpless. I didn't even have a job. How was I supposed to support a child? I placed my hand instinctively on my stomach. No, I couldn't just give up. My baby deserved better. He or she deserved to have a loving, stable home. The baby's father may have abandoned it, but the baby still had me. And I owed it to this baby to get my shit together and be strong. My mind flashed back to the email JL had sent me when they offered me the internship. A thought bolted into my mind then. Milan. The address for the head office had been on the email. The head office was in Milan. I didn't know much about Milan or even Italy for that matter. I'd never been to Europe. But what did I have here? Nothing. There was nothing keeping me here. So in a moment of boldness, I opened my laptop and purchased a one-way plane ticket to Milan. I used all the money I had left, but I felt good about my decision. A fresh start. A new life. Yes, I could start over in Milan. I picked up my phone and quickly dialed Hazel. Hayes, I said as soon as she picked up. I know I promised I'd stay close by, but there's been a change of plans. I'm moving to Milan. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm pregnant. Hayes' scream was deafening, and before she asked a million questions, I interrupted her. Keep it a secret from Liam. I don't have any more to do with him, including this baby. Trista's POV * 5 years later * Billy. Belle. Lunch. I called. My 2 precious twins came running in through the door. They just turned 5 and they're one heck of a handful. But they're the most wonderful children in the world. The sun streamed in through my oversized floor-to-ceiling window. We sat at the table, and I sighed with contentment that I had thought I would have one lovely child, but didn't realize they turned out to be 2. So I have both an adorable angelic girl and a smart and handsome boy. They made me the luckiest mom ever. Just then the phone rang. It was Johnson, the CEO of JL Jewelry and my boss. He had also become a good friend. When I packed up 5 years ago and made the risky decision to move here, to Milan, he hired me on the spot. He said he saw real potential in my designs. I was a little worried because I was pregnant. Could I do this all on my own? But when the babies came, he gave me a generous bonus so I could afford the best daycare in Milan. Trista, he said. Yes. Thanks for taking my call. I know it's your day off, and you're busy with the double Bs. That's what he calls them, my adorable twins, the double Bs. I shot a look at Billy and Belle, munching away on their pasta, and my heart swelled. It's okay, I told him. What's up? I usually tried not to take business calls on my day off. I worked hard, really hard 6 days a week, so I needed 1 day a week of playtime and rest with my kiddos. But ever since I was given my own separate line of business and promoted to department director, well, I had to take the odd business calls on my day off. I fingered my necklace, one of my newest designs, forest-themed of course. All my jewelry was. When I first started working in Milan for JL Jewelry, they asked me to submit some design ideas. My mind flashed back to the forest and my pack growing up. Sometimes I still dreamt about Blue Moon Crescent Pack. It was my home after all. And my first few months in Milan, my heart ached for my pack and the forest that surrounded it. So, I drew inspiration from the ancient redwoods and the sounds and sights of the forest. I fashioned my designs after the place that would always have a special place in my heart, home. Who knew forest-themed jewelry would be such a hit? It took off like wildfire. We gave some samples to a few famous models, and they wore my designs during Milan Fashion Week. We sold out overnight. From there, I was offered my very own line. It's called Tree Tall, and I've been working my butt off ever since, building my brand and designing new jewelry. Great. Well, I have some news, Johnson said. Belle reached for her orange juice, but accidentally knocks it over. She gave me her oops face. I smiled and wiped it up, cradling the phone between my ear and neck. Fire away, I said. We're taking a trip. A business trip. Overseas, he said. My heart fluttered. That sounded exciting. Where to? I asked as I wrung out the orange juice-soaked cloth. Mama more, Billy said, holding out his plate. I scooped out more pasta while Mr. Johnson continued. It's in the U.S., just outside of New York, a smaller city called Somerset. I dropped the cloth. Somerset? But that was close to my own pack. And his. We leave in a few days. Plan to stay for a while. There's a company out there, a venture capitalist firm. They saw your designs. They might want to invest. You know, so you can form a separate company, like a sister company. My mouth opened but no words came out. Somerset? My heart lurched. I had been very busy the past 5 years, raising Billy and Belle, working, designing my jewelry. But the sting of what Liam did, well, it never really went away. Could I go back there? What if I ran into him? Him and that two-timing woman, Lucy. Trista? Hello. You still there? Yes. Of course. I'm really counting on you. This could be big, Trista. Really big. His phone came through the phone, kind as always. He had done so much for me. He'd given me this job, let me spread my wings. He helped out with my rent when I was at my worst. He brought me soup when I was sick, and made sure I was never alone for the holidays. And every year, he came to the twins' birthday, his arms full of presents. For a while there, they wanted to call him Dad. I couldn't ask that of him though, obviously. He'd already done too much. Trista, can I count on you? You in? He asked. Yes, I replied. I mean, Somerset wasn't really that small. Just as long as we left as soon as the meetings were done. I'm in, I told him confidently. What were the chances, really? Slim to none. I would go to Somerset, attend some meetings and sign some papers. It was no big deal. As long as I didn't run into Liam, the man who had shattered my heart and cast me out from my pack 5 years ago. Everything would be just fine. That I hung up and turned to my kids. Billy, Belle, eat up. Mommy needs to pack. I'm going on a trip. Where to, Mama? Billy asked, cocking his head to the side. Yeah, where to? Belle echoed. Home, I sighed. And then I crossed my fingers for good measure.